Hey guys, I'm Allison. I'm the Pampered Wife. Today I want to talk to you about the Kjaer Weis Liquid Foundation. I'm going to talk a little bit about the product, show you myself applying it, talk about my experience with it, and whether or not I recommend it. So I hope you'll watch through the end, or at least give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it at any point. It really helps me with the algorithms and things. This is a foundation that I've been using for a while now because I wanted to make sure I knew what my thoughts were on it. And if you're not familiar with Kjaer Weis, here is the packaging. This is a newer product, probably within the last 2 months, I would say. They have had a cream foundation, but this is their newest launch as far as foundations go. Kjaer Weis is a sustainable company. It's mostly natural, certified organic. At least this particular product is vegan and gluten-free. They're all about recycling and refillability, or refills. This particular container is 100% recyclable, even this little dropper. I believe that's through TerraCycle if you want to be able to recycle this portion, but the packaging is glass. It comes in a cardboard container that fits it perfectly, so there's no extra packaging or anything. Kjaer Weis also has other refillable products like their mascara. I believe they're even their lipsticks, as well as eyeshadows and cream products. So I believe they've been refillable since even the beginning. They're one of the first brands to be refillable. Also, their ingredients are rooted in skincare, so I find that's pretty common in clean beauty brands, that they're not just makeup, they're also skincare. So that's not super rare, but also nice to know. I'm going to talk about some of the ingredients in this particular product, and of course I'm going to have to read these. The first ingredient is chamomile water, which is interesting and pretty impressive. This also does contain hyaluronic acid, which helps with moisture. It's going to pull moisture from the environment or from the product itself and put that into your skin. It's got a blend of cold pressed oils, including rosehip oil, jojoba, and olive oil. It also has natural waxes to hold in the moisture. And Kjaer Weis's exclusive ingredient that I will put on the screen but also attempt to pronounce, Dioscorea batatas, also known as root of light. Now it is in the bottom 1/3 of ingredients, but the ingredient list is not that long, so there may be a decent amount in there. This ingredient, when I looked into it, is basically a Chinese yam or wild yam or Chinese potato, depending on who you ask and what they may call it. It's supposed to be an antioxidant, helps fight against pollution and UV rays. It soothes and treats and promotes healthier skin. I don't have any more details than that, but it is supposed to be at least an antioxidant, which we're all battling pollution. And even in our homes, there's really nowhere anymore that you couldn't use an antioxidant on your skin. It does also contain coconut alkalines, which are basically a natural silicone alternative. So that will provide some of the slip and nice finish that you'll see on your skin. It's not absorbed into your skin, which means it does sit on your skin. It will evaporate some, but it is pretty comedogenic if you're sensitive to coconut oils or coconut oil products. So just keep that in mind. I've not had a problem with it. My skin doesn't love coconut oil, but I typically don't have a problem with foundations or things that have coconut oil in them. Now, as far as this particular product, it's supposed to be for all skin types. They have 24 shades, and they say that the shades are adaptable. I don't know about that. You'll see when I start putting on the foundation, it's a little light for me. I actually go in and mix in something to make it a little darker. I haven't found it really adaptable, but 24 shades isn't terrible, especially for a clean beauty brand. That's pretty good. It's a light to medium coverage. They claim it has a natural, slightly luminous finish that smooths, evens, perfects, and is long lasting. To start with, you want to shake this bottle really well because the ingredients will separate. Of course, it's more natural, so you just want to make sure all the oils are distributed evenly with the chamomile water and the flower waters and all that. So I will shake it. It does have a dropper, and I've heard a lot of complaints about the packaging because of this dropper. It's a very narrow hole to fit the dropper back in and pull it out of, so you have to be pretty perfect when you're dipping back into the product to get more. The dispenser itself does not dispense that much product. If you get 3 drops, that's typically good, even though it looks like there may be more in the dropper to come out. I put it on the back of my hand. I like to put it on my face with my fingertips. My second favorite way is to use a brush. My least favorite way is to use a sponge, and that's just because the sponge shears it out too much. I like a little bit more coverage. Not a lot, it's not full coverage, it's not gonna be, but I wanna get the coverage that it will offer. I just prefer not to use a sponge because it shears it out too much, and I don't need the sponge to even it out on my skin or fix the texture like I do with some other foundations. You do wanna prep your skin first. I actually prefer just to use my typical morning skincare items like my vitamin C, bakuchiol, sunscreen, and moisturizer, or rather moisturizer then sunscreen, but sometimes those two products are combined for me. I prefer the foundation not on top of an oil. It's not really bad or anything, it's just personal preference. I go through phases where I prefer oils and where I don't, and I'm just in a cream phase right now. But the foundation works beautifully on top of a cream or on top of an oil. As far as the texture goes, it's a thinner, runnier consistency, but not as thin and runny as some other products I've tried, like the Ilia True Skin is really a serum foundation that's really thin. This one's not that thin, it's not as thin. It spreads out really nicely on the skin, and it does have a scent. I don't know how to describe it. I looked it up online to see what the ingredients are. Kjaer Weis does not share that information. They share that it is essential oils and natural fragrance. I don't know what that is, and I don't even know what it smells like. To me, it's sort of a sweet and spicy. Also, it sort of smells like bubble gum. What's interesting to me is that when I first got this product, I didn't really smell it at all, and I'd heard about the scent, so I was looking for it. The longer I've had it and the more I've used it, the more prominent the scent is, and the longer lasting it is on my skin. I happen to like it. It's not at all perfumey. Perfumey makes me sneeze. I'm really sensitive to a lot of scents. I'm not sensitive to this one, and it does dissipate and eventually fade completely away, but it's just taking longer and longer as I've had the product longer. And I've only had the product maybe 3 weeks. As I mentioned, it is a little bit light for me. Oh, I should tell you the shade. I have F140, which is paper thin. And you can see the shape of the bottle here when I'm showing you this. It's really neat. It's unique and pretty and different. And they do have a top for like $30 that you can buy to protect the dropper. Maybe if you travel or something, that would be a good purchase. I'm not going for that right now, but I do like the packaging. It's heavy, it's nice, it feels luxurious and different and pretty. It's frosted, as you can see. It does feel lightweight on my skin. It's really comfortable. I go in and powder my under eyes where I put some concealer. I'll powder a little around my nose because if you've ever seen my videos, you know I have allergies and I'm constantly blowing my nose. And then I'll also powder maybe around my mouth and just right here, but I don't powder the vast majority of my face. And I gotta tell you, for me, that's a big deal. I can't stand to feel like stuff is on my face. Like if you're gonna, like scratch your face or wipe it, that you're gonna leave a fingerprint or a huge mark or something. I don't get that with this foundation. It still feels moisturized, but it doesn't feel tacky or sticky or greasy or thick or anything like that. I really like the texture. I put it on probably an hour and a half or 2 hours ago, and I have blown my nose quite a bit already between putting it on and filming this portion of the video. I think it wears beautifully. I've actually noticed it is really long lasting like they claim. It is a light to medium coverage like they claim. And the longer I wear it, the more I like it on my skin. So if I put it on first thing in the morning, by the end of the day, it still looks beautiful, and I think my skin even looks better the longer I wear it. It definitely has that naturally luminous finish. I put a little highlighter on, but you can see when I apply it in the video and I'm turning my head that there is some luminosity. As I mentioned, I did add in, for the second coat and around the outside of my face, the De-Bronzy Anti-Pollution Sunshine Drops from Drunk Elephant, and this is just to add a little bit of darkness to the foundation. It says cocoa extract, platinum peptides. The reason I'm looking is to tell you that if you want to mix things in with it, whether it's to thin it out with a moisturizer or oil, or something like this to deepen the shade a little bit, or another foundation to lighten it, it probably will work really well. It's worked great with this. I've had no problems. I've had no pilling or balling, no matter what I've used underneath it, which is great. And like I said, I don't powder it, and it's great. I also want to add that I've used both cream products and powder products on top of this. Today I used cream blush. It goes on beautifully, spreads out nicely, just tap it in with my fingers or use a brush to spread it around. It doesn't disturb the foundation. And I've also used powder bronzer today. It doesn't skip or jump, or it's not patchy at all to use on top of the foundation. So I found the foundation really works with a variety of products. So what are my overall thoughts? My overall thoughts are it is on the pricier side. It is sustainable, recyclable. This one is not refillable though. So compared to their other products that are refillable, that's a minus, I guess. But right now it's my favorite concealer. It is my favorite foundation right now. I love the light to medium coverage, especially because I'm not going out and doing glam nights, but I still want to look nice and have my skin look nice. This does that. It looks natural. Your skin looks like skin. You can definitely see some hyperpigmentation that I have going on and other imperfections, but I think that's a good thing. It's not going to be full coverage. It's totally comfortable, easy to put on, whether you use your hands or another instrument. Great ingredients you can feel good about as long as you don't have that coconut sensitivity. They do offer shade matching on their website, which I had heard was pretty terrible. So I went on there and picked my own shade based on pictures they show real women with the foundation on. So I looked and I thought, oh, my skin tone looks like hers. I think I'll go with that one. Got it. It's a little too light. Then I went on their website and did the shade matching, and it picked the shade that I now think probably would have been perfect. So I think do give the shade matching a try. And where you buy it from, they probably have a good return policy or exchange policy, so keep that in mind. I haven't found it to lean too warm or too cool. My skin tone is neutral. They do have shades that are cooler and warmer and all of that, which I also appreciate. I actually was gonna get the Westman Atelier foundation instead of this one, but I couldn't find a good shade, and it was suggested to me that I should buy two. Well, I don't want to buy two and mix them, especially to try it out and see if I like it or not, especially when it's so expensive. That's how I ended up with the Kjaer Weis. And I'm thrilled that I have. I hope everyone's okay. I don't know if you guys heard those sirens. Something happened pretty close to here, I guess. Anyway, I'm very pleased that I got this foundation. It's my go-to every day right now, and I'm just loving it. I certainly recommend it. Keep in mind there is a scent. It's not very strong, but it's definitely there, and it seems somehow to be getting stronger. So maybe if there's a way for you to smell it ahead of time, or just make sure about the return policy where you buy it from like Credo or Detox or even Kjaer Weis directly, that if you do have a sensitivity to the scent or don't care for it, that you can exchange it or return it. Other than the coconut and the scent, I highly recommend it. It's pretty flawless, super easy to wear, and I love it. I'm curious to know if you've worn this foundation, how you like it compared to their cream foundation, which I have not tried. That one just hasn't appealed to me. Or if you have another foundation you're loving right now that I should try. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below. Like I mentioned, please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it at any point. Subscribe. I'd love to have you here. I usually post a video about twice a week. This week I was a little off. We can talk about that in my next video. I always say that. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear your suggestions and comments. I'm always looking to try new things. And in the meantime, I hope you find some time to pamper yourself today. Bye.